Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppets from Space 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe,
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
and this week we have one of our all-time favorite guests back with us again. He's a Muppet fan who really needs no introduction, and yet I am about to ask him to introduce himself. If you would.
Hello again, Ryan and
There it
Anthony.
is. There it is.
I'm Danny Horn, and today on Moving Right Along, flying saucers and their extraterrestrial pilots. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that through the whole episode.
You're
the
gonna
whole
talk like
thing.
that.
It's a bit. I'm gonna commit to it for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm just
you
gonna
might
be
as
there.
well. This will be our least listened to episode ever.
Right. After the last one I was on. Hooray,
No.
hi. No, it's really me. It's Danny Horn. Um,
Hey,
I'm not Shelley Snipes. From what? From Muppet Zine and Tough
The
Pigs.
fantastic Miss Piggy
And
podcast.
the fantastic Miss Piggy podcast, which you can hear on the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan podcast feed, and Muppet Pictures and Muppet Wiki, and um, that Phenomena episode of 70 Years, 70 Muppets.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, that was
that was
really
a good
fun.
one. And
That's
Yeah,
part of my business card now.
great.
that's
It
on
should
there.
be.
That made the cut. Great.
Yeah. So many things. And this
Yeah.
week you're here to add another item to your Muppet fan resume, which is talking about minutes 25 and 26 of Muppets from Space, in which Miss Piggy freezes up on live television.
Yeah, she does.
But we begin not with Miss Piggy, but with Gonzo driving up to the TV station on his lawnmower. As he pulls up, he announces, "Hi guys, I'm here." Presumably to these men who are kind of just doing some work outside, but they don't seem to pay attention to him.
Right, and he's not looking at them. He's looking ahead, and they're behind him.
Yeah, and this is obviously, I mean, very obviously, like added later, looped in.
Uh-huh.
So it might just be because they know that we can tell that this is just like a lifeless, motionless Gonzo riding this
He's not so
lawnmower.
bad.
So they,
He's got some turn in him.
oh, does he?
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
this is a it's a classic Muppet movie ride on.
Okay, but yeah, I figured maybe
Easy
they
to
just gave him these couple of lines to
Yeah, just to like
just
give him something to say.
further the illusion that yes, this is
Yeah.
Gonzo is alive. Yeah.
And he goes by and we see that this is WHHZ TV9, the information station.
Yes.
And it makes me curious what else is on their schedule besides their afternoon live UFO show.
Yeah, it's strange. We
Well, yeah, they have Single Duck in the City with his apartment full of friends. And right now they have TBA.
should we
They make a
explain
big
to
deal.
everyone that that's from the first episode of
No,
Muppets Tonight? Okay, we won't explain it.
unnecessary.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. Then we go inside where Miss Piggy appears to be signing off on a TV newscast. She
Yeah.
says, "And that's the way it is. This is Miss Piggy saying good night and have a great," but she then gets interrupted. We should note that, "and that's the way it is the famous sign-off used by Walter Cronkite, who was the anchor for CBS News from 1962 to 1981. But yes, she's interrupted by a voice shouting at her, "Hey, where's my coffee?"
Hmm.
And this is when the camera pulls back to reveal, yes, Piggy is holding a coffee cup. She's not hosting the news. She's sitting in Shelley Snipes's chair in Shelley Snipes's dressing room at the UFO Mania show and pretending to host the news just in the mirror.
And so I'm sure Danny has a lot of thoughts about this.
I have
Yes,
thoughts.
I
Yeah.
hope
But
so.
before we get to them, I just want to make it clear that I've been very upfront about enjoying this movie up to this point. I have said it
I have
over
heard.
and over that I like this one. I think it's fun.
Yes.
This Miss Piggy is the coffee pig
Yeah.
Yeah.
is the first real problem I
This
have
is the
with this
downer.
movie. It's
Yeah.
yeah, like this is where the cracks start to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it really starts to lose me.
Sure.
These
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, for me as well. And like in general, for me, Muppet movies work to the extent that Miss Piggy works. Which basically
Sure.
means like the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, and Muppets Most Wanted, and
Hmm.
then there's everything else where she doesn't. Uh, because those have really strong parts for Miss Piggy, and therefore like a connection to treating their two main stars seriously. Um,
Yeah.
Except that Muppets Most Wanted doesn't really treat Kermit seriously, so that's a problem on the other end.
Hmm.
But anyway, uh, yeah. And so then, what do they do with Miss Piggy and Muppets from Space? Is kind of like, it's like this is the scale down your expectations Muppet movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where like they've done Hollywood and they've done Broadway, and now they're doing local television.
Right.
And so the idea that Piggy wants to be a megastar TV journalist is like it's such a reach in general. Like it's not particularly in character for who she is or what she wants to be.
At being a reporter rather than being a performer.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Sure.
it's not clear, and I know you guys have been talking about this. Like it's not clear like what the Muppets are in this. Like
Right.
are these the Muppets that we know? Um or is this like a group of people who are living together
Yeah, it's not clear.
with their greatest critics on the couch?
Right.
Yeah, weirdly living in the
Right.
same house as
Just as
them.
all living in the same house.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it's not clear kind of like what Miss Piggy who she was and who she's going to be right now. But like oddly like history has kind of caught up to this movie because if you say like Miss Piggy doesn't want to interview people on television, that's a terrible idea. That would never work. And then they went and made a whole TV show about
No,
about Miss
that's
Piggy
true.
Yeah,
about
in
Miss
that
Piggy
case
interviewing people. And
she
indeed, it was
was
a
the
terrible idea and
star.
it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like
yeah, that it was not universally beloved, that
it
show.
was not universally beloved.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I agree that this kind of breaks the movie because it's especially the inability to perform on camera. Because really just nothing that you know about Miss Piggy and her prior career like leads to Coffee Pig as an acceptable like role in life.
Yeah, as something that she would even accept. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That she would stand for that.
Right. It seems like we're supposed to see her as like a plucky underdog in this,
Hmm.
right? I mean, she's obviously this is pre Devil Wears Prada, but like we're supposed to see her as like the same type as Anne Hathaway in that movie, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
she's like a plucky young ingenue trying to get ahead by like getting her foot in the door. Well, that's dumb. That's not who Miss Piggy is at all.
No, you're right.
She's not sympathetic enough for that to work, even.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, not in that way. I will say I'll get to this a little later too. In all the early drafts of the script that we have that Jerry Jewell wrote solo, she's not the coffee pig. She actually is the co-host of this show. So I don't know whose idea it
Mm.
was to do this sort of twist where, oh, surprise, she's not really a TV star. She's just the lowly PA or whatever she is.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
right,
I
right.
don't think it was a good change.
Well, Danny, I think it was you
Yes.
20 years ago or more who on the forum, I think, suggested that she should have been like hired because she's the star of Pigs in Space to host this UFO Mania show.
That would make
And
sense.
and then she's just not good at it because she's too focused on herself or whatever,
Yeah.
something like that. And I think about that every time I watch this movie.
Yeah. There are versions of that that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have worked. It would be like the celebrities hosting those like mysteries of history shows
Hmm.
on the History Channel, like William
Yeah.
Shatner and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, 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 like that. That would work. Hmm. But that's not
I
what they
mean,
did.
even no, and like even just in general, like involving Miss Piggy on like what is apparently like local access cable is kind of how this feels.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's and possibly like the biggest show on the WHHC TV9 information station.
I guess so.
It has a big studio. Uh, they're making a very big deal about it, considering that it's
Yeah.
a afternoon UFO show. Um, but something that is so weird about this is that later in the movie there are other Piggy moments that only make sense if you know the original persona. So like showing up in the basement in her fancy outfit and posing in the doorway.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Like that only works if you know her as glamorous. And then fighting the special agent, Agent Barker, that only works if you know her karate. So like if you come at this movie not knowing who Miss Piggy is, then none of that really fits together. It doesn't really work.
Yeah. Huh.
These are my theories, my Piggy
No,
theories.
yeah, that
No, you're
all
correct. I
you're right
agree
about
with
all of
you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They set out to make a Gonzo movie and they sort of forgot about some of the other characters,
Yes.
including
Yeah,
Piggy, I
yeah.
think. So there, I noticed there are some handwritten letters taped to the wall in this dressing
Mm,
room. I tried to zoom in, I could not read them, but who knows? Maybe someday we'll get a 4K disc of this movie. We'll be able to read those. Piggy runs out with the coffee. Another crew member asks if he can have a coffee too, light, no sugar, and that's how we know for sure now. This is not just a fluke. This is not a one-off of
right.
Piggy
This
getting
is
coffee for somebody. This
yeah.
is her job.
Is their job. Is light coffee a thing? I don't know what he means by light coffee. I know what no sugar means, but what's light?
Oh, I
I,
don't really
No,
drink coffee, so I
a
assumed
lot of milk.
I assumed that
I
light
guess
meant
so,
one
yeah.
like no sugar, but maybe not.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I've never
He wants what he really wants is a caramel macchiato, but it's 1999 and they haven't perfected caramel macchiato technology yet.
Starbucks
Sure.
is not ubiquitous quite
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's called a cappuccino, and wait till you see what it costs. John Beard on Arrested Development.
But yeah, listeners, if you know what light coffee is, let us know. So as Piggy runs through the studio, a stage manager or floor manager, one of those, declares that Shelley Snipes is stuck at the airport and she won't make it in time for the show. Which seems very unnecessary that this show airs live.
It's necessary for the plot of the movie that like the others
Exactly.
are watching Gonzo in real time,
Yes, it
right?
is
Like
necessary for the story. Right.
yeah. Are we going to talk about who plays the stage manager?
Yes, that's the next thing I have in my notes, but you want to take that?
Okay, yeah, so the stage manager is played by Veronica Alacino, who is Tim Hill's wife.
Yes, this is
Oh,
Her
the only piece of actual information that I learned from watching the DVD commentary because he does point that out.
she is also she has a speaking part in every single one of his movies.
I
aw.
noticed that. I looked her up on IMDb. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
But it's
Is
like
she
really adorable.
is
Yeah.
she ever in anything else? Like, is
Yeah,
she actually an actress?
she's an actress otherwise, but
Okay.
Yeah, she has a bunch of credits in movies and like small parts, but TV
Mhm.
episodes, video games, just
yeah.
yeah, lots of stuff like
But
that.
That's
but
nice.
but yeah, she'll be like she's Liz's veterinary assistant in Garfield, The Tale of Two Kitties, or whatever,
There you go.
Like
Yeah.
watching this, I was like, where do I recognize her from? And then I looked it up, Tim Hill's wife. She's in all his movies. I'm
Every
like,
Tim
oh, I
Hill
just
movie.
watched every Tim Hill movie. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see when they got married. I noticed one of her credits was Action League Now, so I wondered if maybe that's where they met.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we see who she's talking to. It's a producer played by Rob Schneider.
the great Rob Schneider.
Now,
The
who is
great,
Rob Schneider?
well, he's one of the grown-ups, but not one of the grown-ups too.
True,
Because
yes.
he's not in the second one. Um, he's this guy who was on Saturday Night Live in the early '90s,
Yes,
and
most
then
famous for his character. Of course, everybody knows the name Richard the Richmeister Lamer.
this is the
Uh,
making copies
Yeah.
guy,
Yes, the
right?
guy
Yeah.
who
Oh, okay.
sat at
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
desk near the photocopier, and everybody in the office would come to make copies, and he would make up nicknames for them. Like he would say, Anthony, the Ant-Man, Anthorama, making
Yep.
copies.
And my strongest memory of this is that when Macaulay Culkin hosted, he played that character as a kid at Catholic school,
Oh, that's funny.
being
Sort
like
of.
the Nunmeister or whatever.
So yes, Rob Schneider, he was on SNL. And then shortly after this movie, he had a string of roles in comedy movies, like supporting and lead roles, including such classics as Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, The
Hmm.
Animal, The Hot Chick, and of course, Deuce Bigelow, a European Gigolo.
Yes. Dave Manning of the Ridgefield Press loved Rob Schneider's movies. So I don't
Oh,
know why you're acting like they weren't valuable. The great
uh,
famous critic Dave Manning
yeah, tell
loved
our
the
listeners
animal.
more about David
Um,
Manning.
they could not find a pull quote for the poster for The Animal starring Rob Schneider. So Sony Pictures invented one. And it
Oh dear.
was the producing team behind Big Daddy delivers another winner, David Manning, the Ridgefield Press. That's not a person. There was
No.
at that time a newspaper in Ridgefield, Connecticut called the Ridgefield Press. There was not then nor had there ever been a David Manning reviewing movies for them. And they like the paper made this known that this was a
Yeah.
false quote.
And they did it on a few
There,
posters, right? Before they got
there,
busted.
there were definitely a few. I know the animal was one of them.
Wow.
Mostly because my brother Derek loved the animal. I'm calling him out. I'm naming him and shaming him. I don't care. Derek made me watch the animal
Wow.
when he rented it, and he thought it was hilarious. And he thought Colleen from Survivor was good in it.
Yeah, right. That was the start of her big movie career.
Yeah, she was the love interest.
Did you, Anthony, did you look up like the David Manning thing, like when you knew that we were going to be talking about, or do you just have that in your back pocket all of the time? Like the exact quote?
I think about it all the time. My younger brother Christopher, who's been on this podcast, actually they had to make a movie trailer in high school, I believe. He's a few years younger
Hmm.
than me. And I remember him including a pull quote that
David Manning.
was David Manning of the Ridgefield Press raves, "It's a real piece of junk." Like the idea that even David Manning didn't like whatever movie
Yeah.
this was. He had no
These days they don't have to do that. These days they just give free advance tickets to some like idiot YouTube influencer who then just
Right.
heaps praise on the movie and then they quote that person.
Right. And
It's a
of
different
course
time.
there is the great cover for Jack Reacher, the first Jack Reacher movie starring Tom Cruise, which just says thrilling in quotes with no credit at all.
Oh, in
Nice.
quotation marks though?
Yeah, in quotation
Wow.
marks it just
Nice.
says thrilling.
Well, it is
It's,
thrilling.
it's
Sure.
not bad. I saw that movie. It was all right.
I was thrilled.
Yeah.
But in this movie, Rob Schneider is playing the producer of UFO Mania, who says, "Okay, I am not going to panic.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm panicking. Who could we possibly get at the last minute? Who?" But he actually
You
says it
just,
with less energy than
I was
that.
just gonna say that you
Yeah.
did it. You oversold that.
You
Yeah.
oversold
Right.
it. Yeah.
This is the definitive unfunny don't panic bit. Rob Schneider's
Yeah.
famous unfunny.
And he's supposed to be this wacky sketch comedy guy,
Yeah.
and he's just
Yeah.
doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we forgot to push our agenda by saying that Rob Schneider is a Trump supporter.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So we should
We
do
didn't
that.
get to that. Yeah, he
Okay,
he
pushing
yeah,
our agenda.
totally went off the deep end a while back. He's very bad. He's an anti-vaxxer, anti-transgender rights. He's a very bad person.
You guys, why can't we just enjoy the Muppets
Why do we keep talking about
without
politics?
you having to make it about politics all the time?
I just want to enjoy the Muppets, but
Yeah.
they put Rob Schneider in their movie, so I can't.
Yeah, why'd they make it political by casting Rob Schneider? Totally. Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Um, Piggy shoves the stage manager aside, strikes a pose, and presents Rob Schneider with his cappuccino.
With a cartoon boing sound.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
true.
Did
It's
we
that kind of
notice
movie.
that? Yeah.
This cup of coffee actually has something that looks like coffee in it. My wife, Stacy, who is a frequent guest on this podcast, always notices when coffee cups in movies and TV shows are obviously empty, which is pretty much all the time.
Well, that's true of her when she's walking up. When she's like
Yes.
walking through the studio, that is an obviously empty cup.
Yeah.
Right. And in this shot, though, it doesn't have a lid, and you can see that
You can see
there's
the coffee.
liquid inside it, which is
Right. And
unusual.
and of course I think of the Gilmore Girls. Alexis Bledel had a tendency to hold her empty coffee cups
Oh,
at like a 45-degree angle.
right. And she's holding
And
coffee all the time
there's
on that
very
show.
clearly nothing in it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think, I understand, they can't put real coffee in it because what if they spill it and they don't want to put water in it because that could spill and I don't know, to get on their costumes or whatever. But like, could they just weight the cup somehow so it seems like they're holding something that actually has weight to it? But
Yeah.
I don't know. Once you start to notice it, it's hard not to notice.
Yeah.
But something that looks like coffee is in this cup.
Not cappuccino, as she says.
Oh yeah, presumably.
It does not look like that, but
Well,
that's
no,
fine.
you're right. Yeah. But just like that, the next thing we see is the darkened set of UFO Mania, and they're about to go live with Piggy sitting behind the desk.
It just occurred to me that darkened is like so appropriate for what happens next.
Yeah,
As
it's
a
about
as
to
a,
get darker,
a
actually.
dark moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The set looks like a meteor that's been cut in half with Piggy sitting at a desk that's in between the two halves. I do like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. We've
Yeah.
talked about this. The set design in this is
The weird
mostly
meteor.
great.
Yeah.
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 Then there's a countdown. The lights come up. The camera zooms in on Piggy. And as we have alluded to, Piggy just sits there, slack-jawed, staring straight ahead into space. She can't speak. She just lets out a whine. That's all she can do. This
Yeah.
is the movie where Miss Piggy has stage fright. Miss Piggy, a character who has several
Yeah.
important defining characteristics. One of them is the fact that she loves the spotlight and being the center of attention. And
Hmm.
here she freezes when she gets the chance to address an audience. So we kind of went over this already, but any further thoughts on that?
It is a deeply painful moment in American cinema.
Yes, agreed.
The
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
the reading off the cue cards. Yeah, it's really it's a thing that they are doing with Miss Piggy where she has to like she can't just have a glamorous moment later on in the movie where she appears in the doorway. Like she has to walk forward and then trip and fall down. I mean,
Huh.
they did it with in Muppet Treasure Island as well. There's this pathological tendency to want to push Miss Piggy over. And I think that
Yeah.
that thematically, like that's what's happening here as well.
Where it used to be enough to say, hey, look, here's a pig who's acting
Doing this thing,
glamorous. And
right?
that was the
Yes,
joke, and that was funny, and we all loved
yeah. Her
it.
persona was sort of enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then at
now
this
it's
point,
like,
they have
here's
to,
a pig who thinks she's glamorous, so we're going to punish her for it or
yes,
something.
exactly, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's a thing that the scene does not need. That actually, if she was fine at it, and Gonzo shows up, it's the same scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's not, it's really not funny. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't watched this movie with like other friends or introduced it to new Muppet fans as
Hmm.
much as the other movies, but I can't imagine this getting a big laugh from anyone, really.
Yeah. And the really weird thing is like she's doing that the reading off the cue cards, like, thank you, this is Shelley Snipes. Um, but then a little bit later in these 2 minutes, like when Gonzo shows up and upstages her, which is what happens to everybody in this movie, uh, she like goes back to the camera and says, "This seems to be some sort of mistake." Ah, ha, ha.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
she
as if
continues
she's still
speaking as if
reading
she's reading.
reading off
Yeah,
the cue cards.
that's
Yeah.
kind of funny. I assume Frank Oz was not on the set for this
He was,
because we know
yeah.
that Piggy was mostly performed by Peter Lenz. Is that right?
I thought
It's
And
as we've
Kevin Clash.
as no, it was Kevin on Treasure Island,
Oh, okay.
but I think it was Peter here because as we discussed last week in the trailer, when Piggy says the mood is tense, but my hair looks great, it's definitely Peter.
okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about this scene. Obviously, that's not the same scene, but like we have
Yeah,
evidence that he performed her sometimes at least.
because if this had been Frank on set in this scene, I would say that the using the same stilted, awkward delivery,
Mm-hmm.
despite not reading cue cards, was like his attempt to add something funny to save it. But yeah, if it's not him on set, then I don't know. Maybe that was scripted. I don't know.
That does make me wonder how he felt dubbing these lines.
Yeah, well, he had to dub that squeak too, that whine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did occur to me that this is about a year away from him deciding that he just doesn't need to play Miss Piggy anymore.
Well,
Right.
He's
how
he's
many
very close. He's very close to that decision.
how many times did he ever play Piggy after this? Like I know we say 2001 or whatever, but
Yeah, some
like
talk show
what
appearances really
Yeah,
is
she had
right,
it.
yeah.
talk show appearances. Yeah, she did some stuff
Right,
um
but
every
probably
now and
just
then.
like
But this is his
just like a
last.
couple
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is his last like real and like you said, like and he wasn't even there. Yeah, but I wonder just sort of like what impact this movie chased away Jerry Jewell, right?
Correct.
Um
That seems to be, yeah, that's
and I
what we've
wonder if
heard.
it chased away Frank as well.
Sure seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we record this, the rumor has just started circulating about this potential Miss
This could be a
Piggy
Miss
movie
Piggy.
produced by Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone and written by Cola Scola. I've seen a lot of comments online of people saying like they have to get Frank Oz back. Frank Oz hasn't performed Miss Piggy in
Yeah, it's been
23,
a long time.
24 years. He's not going to perform Miss Piggy in a movie at his age and that far
Right.
removed from his work with the Muppets.
Well,
Yep.
you're gonna look silly when they announce that Frank Oz is playing Miss Piggy.
I'm
in
gonna look
this.
so silly. Yes.
Just like, yeah, I mean, he played Yoda that one time, 2017.
That's true. He did come back and even, although, do I remember right that he didn't realize he was going to be puppeteering Yoda until he got to the set?
I'm not sure about that. I don't
Mhm.
know.
I might be wrong on that, but that's true. He did do Yoda again. So anything's possible, but it's unlikely.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it.
We do get a glimpse of back at the Muppet House, our five BFFs, Fozzie, Robin, Rizzo, Pepe, and Clifford watching this on TV. Fozzie says,
Because this is a show where the Muppets sit around and watch TV.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
right.
a movie
Yes.
where they sit around and watch TV, local TV.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
The disdain in your voice when you called this a movie.
It's a movie.
No, it's just like that's what Kermit just hangs around the house. He
Yeah,
like paints. He paints
He
on the
does.
floor.
Yeah, well, so that we're about to see. Well, actually, that's a little bit later, but yeah, but no, these Muppets don't seem very concerned to see Piggy like having this devastating moment on TV. They're just kind of like, oh, huh,
No, they think she's doing great.
I guess so. At the studio, Rob Schneider and our stage manager friend are aggressively pointing to these cue cards. Of course, when this movie came out, alert Muppet fans were aware that this was not Piggy's first time awkwardly reading cue cards.
Hmm.
Is it? I forgot to double check. It's the Garth Brooks episode of Muppets Tonight where she's doing the
Yes,
balcony
yeah.
scene from Romeo and Juliet,
Hmm.
and she can't read the cards because she needs glasses for some reason. So
Right.
suddenly,
Because she's old.
yeah, I guess. So she says things like "Romero, Romero, parting is such sweet sparrow."
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Yes, classic. But in this movie, she finally snaps out of her stupor and says, "Hello again, I'm Shelley Snipes. Today on UFO Mania, flying saucers and their extraterrestrial pilots." This is when we cut back to the Muppet House, where we see Kermit apparently cleaning up after doing his house painting. I've never noticed before in any viewing of this movie that he
Hmm.
sighs and says, "Wish I
Wish I
could
could.
find my pants."
Yes.
Me too. I wrote that down too,
Yes.
that I have never noticed that before.
That's the highlight of these 2 minutes for me is Kermit saying, "Wish I
Like, I
could
wish I
find
could
my
find my pants.
pants."
I went back and looked because I was like, there must have been a scene that this is referring to. There must have been a shot of him with his pants or without his pants or something related to pants. And there's not. It appears to be
No, I don't think so.
entirely unjustified.
It seems to be like a joke about Kermit that doesn't wear pants.
Kermit doesn't wear
So
pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
has he been wishing that for his whole career?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
He had pants. He just doesn't. Well, he does wear pants
He can't find them.
during the painting
Right.
scene.
Yes,
That's
he is
true.
wearing
Yeah.
clothing.
Was the
Yeah.
painting scene before or after?
It's before
That's
this.
before that
Before
already
this.
happened.
Yeah, yeah. And so now I don't know why he wishes he could find his pants.
Yeah, just go back and get the pants he was wearing for painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, get with it,
Yeah,
Kermit.
it's a baffling line. Yeah, yeah.
But it's very funny
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely because Kermit doesn't wear pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Pepe calls Kermit in to watch the TV. And also at that moment on the TV, Piggy is interrupted by Gonzo jumping into the shot. Gonzo says, "People of Earth, do not be alarmed. My message will be brief. I'm Gonzo." Piggy is surprised to see him. The crew of the show is baffled by his sudden appearance. They weren't expecting a Gonzo. And then this is where Piggy does her stilted, awkward, haha, there seems to be some sort of mistake. Clifford, back in the Muppet house, tells Kermit he'd better get down to the station. Kermit says nobody's going anywhere. And then Gonzo says, "You see, I was contacted through my breakfast cereal." And that's where this clip ends. A remarkably clean cutoff
Yes.
point for a 2 minute
Yeah.
clip.
Clifford thinks he's still the host of Muppets Tonight, so he gets
Oh,
to tell
he's
Kermit what to do.
yeah, he's giving instructions. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm. Yeah.
It is, I mean, that's another, it's sort of in this, in the vein of like, who are these Muppets and what are they doing and what is the dynamic between them? Um, there is apparently the understanding that Kermit is in charge and that if something weird is happening somewhere that relates to a Muppet, Kermit had better be on the scene
Right.
Mm,
doing something
yeah.
about it. And he shows right up too.
Right, yeah, that will happen. Yeah, spoiler for next week. But yeah, it's true. I mean, it goes back to, or it brings to mind for me the scene in Muppets Take Manhattan when they're just like roaming the streets of New York, hungry and
Hmm.
broke, and everybody's like, "So Kermit, what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna get our next meal?" And he's like, "Why is
Yeah.
it always on me?" But yeah, it's still all these years later, it's still happening.
Yep.
That is all I have for these 2 minutes. I have a quick screenplay draft note from the February 12th, 1998 draft. Um, so I may have said this already. In these early drafts by Jerry Jewell, Piggy does not have stage fright at all. That doesn't happen. And also,
Yeah,
she's
Jerry.
not the PA delivering coffee in any of these drafts. She is the co-host of the show. She's introducing the show in a normal, calm way alongside her co-host, Rex Stella. Anthony, remind me who you cast in your head as Rex Stella last time.
Fred Willard.
Fred Willard. Yes, perfect. Love
Good
it.
call. Good call. Thank you.
Um, so in this draft at the beginning of the show, Piggy says, Dateline Montevideo. Jorge Juan Patron, a delicatessen owner in the South American city, was stunned yesterday when he unwrapped a gorgonzola cheese and found that the blue veins formed a map of Mars. It's almost certainly a hoax, said Sandra Hawthorne of the UFO Research Institute. Everyone knows that Martians are lactose intolerant. Which is cute,
Hmm.
unnecessary, but also reminds me of the Muppet Newsman bits
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
it
from the
feels like
first
it.
season of the Muppet Show when it would just be a joke rather than like a slapstick bit.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they put like Sandy Duncan in the picture
In
in
the little
picture.
picture,
Well, right,
yeah.
yeah, that was part of it too.
It still doesn't really work for Piggy. Like
Um,
Piggy sitting there delivering that line is still an
yeah, it
odd
doesn't really
choice.
seem like a piggy joke.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, just a Piggy role in general.
Yeah, it's true. Um,
But I do have to say that like the one thing that I do have to say that's pro like the Piggy of this movie is that she is the only character besides Gonzo and Rizzo to actually have a plot line. Like she gets a whole
yeah.
arc. You know, she starts as Coffee Pig, she like gets the job and does it badly, but then like gets the story by the end of the movie. There's resolution about that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're right.
So I do have to give them props for actually giving her something to do, a real story.
Yeah, because Shelley
Sure.
Snipes shows up at the end. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, good point. Okay, so anything else on these 2 minutes, Danny, starting with you?
One thing I noticed was that there is a real good Kermit startle
Oh,
when Gonzo shows up on the TV. There's a real nice shot of Kermit just looking like surprised and startled, and it's so cute. And you should go and look at it again because
Mhm.
it's just a good, solid like Kermit startle face. I really liked it.
oh, good.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll have to go
Awesome.
back and look for
There
that.
you go.
Anthony, anything on these 2 minutes?
No, well, actually, I have a question
Yeah.
for you
Sure.
both. The thing of awkwardly reading off the cue cards.
Yes.
Could that have been, is there a Muppet who that would have been funny to see them do that? Or is it just a bad idea?
Um, I actually
I
could see
mean,
Fozzie doing
Fozzie.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fozzie. And because we've seen him be funny reading stuff in a halting way.
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
And there is a version of the world where Fozzie doesn't actually read that well.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
he
you're right.
typed Leggies in Jinglefins.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was just because his typing was bad, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's one of my favorite bits
yeah.
on the entire Muppet Show,
Yeah.
you
We'll
know.
come tie the Muppet shocks. Yeah, that's great stuff.
Well, welcome again, Ty the Muppet
There
Shacks.
you go. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so before we start to wrap up, I did want to mention the Jim Henson Company's 70th anniversary auction, which by the time this episode is published will actually be over. So sorry if anyone's hearing about it for the first time.
And congratulations to the people who now own a little piece of something that had something to do with Dark Crystal.
Yeah, if you won the Skeksis silverware from the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, congratulations. Yeah, and
Congratulations.
also how
You got it.
did you afford that? Yeah. But yeah, the Jim Henson Company is auctioning off a bunch of stuff from their entire history, and it does include a handful of Muppets from Space items. Most noteworthy for us, the alarm clocks for Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, Sam the Eagle, Sweetums, and Bunsen and Beaker. We don't see Piggy's and Fozzie's alarm clocks in this movie, but we
Yeah.
speculated on this podcast about what they might look like. Piggy's has this sort of elegant clock face next to a little statue of a kind of glamorous looking Golden Age Hollywood lady. And then
Which is
Fozzie's,
a little baffling on its
Piggy's or
own.
Fozzie's?
Like Piggy's, you would think it would be her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That would
Yeah.
actually
It
make
would
a
Yeah.
be
lot
What
of
like
is
sense for her.
The Piggy phone. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
what does Piggy care about Barbara Stanwyck or
some
whatever,
lady,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Fozzie's is more inexplicable to me. It looks like a TV that has like a little diorama of two women dancing on a stage, and there's a trophy stuck to the top of it. I have no idea what this is supposed to be or how this
That
represents
one that
Fozzie's
one
alarm clock.
yeah, that one didn't make the cut, I guess, in the
Maybe
movie.
that's why, because it's
Yeah.
so like, why is this Fozzie? Maybe, or maybe it's even for a different character, and they just were like, oh, we'll get more money for it if we say it's Fozzie's. I have no idea.
So I didn't realize that it has Sweetum's in there as well. I thought
Uh,
Sweetum's
yes,
alarm clock was crushed.
Yeah,
oh,
because he
that's a
crushes
good
it. Yeah.
point. It is in there, and it looks
Maybe
like the
it's
one that he smashed. So maybe it's one that
No,
didn't go on camera
a
because they
separate
didn't
one. Yeah.
have him smash it. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah, now I want to go back and read the description to see if it says this one did not appear on camera because
Yeah.
Sweetums
yeah.
smashed the one that
Smashed it.
did. But what is in the auction is Sweetum's bath brush.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You could have the brush that he used in the bathtub with the
To
chickens
brush it.
or the
Yeah.
penguins.
The penguin.
Penguins.
Yeah.
Penguins.
There's also the dining room chair backs from the movie.
Great.
Zoot's woodwind case, the Uberganzo's follow spot, and a smoking cabinet and corner shelf set dressing. I have no idea where these appear in the movie,
Yeah.
but as of these recording, the bidding for those two are it's being sold together. The bidding is up to $400 after 10 bids. Who is
Right, who's
bidding
buying?
$400 on a smoking cabinet and corner shelf set dressing from Muppets from Space that
That
does
may
not
have appeared.
appear in a
Yeah.
memorable scene?
You
Yeah.
guessed it, Rob Schneider.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Desperately trying to relive
His glory days.
his glory days on Muppets from Space.
that's got to be it. Okay. Well, anyway, if you did win something in that auction, though, listener, seriously, let us know. We want to hear about it. That's
Yeah,
very exciting.
definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think everybody at Tough Pigs is really fascinated to know like who's
Who's
buying these
actually
things?
bidding in this? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real mystery.
So, Danny, we are asking all our guests this season two questions. The first one being, what is your history with this movie?
My history with this movie is the same as my history with basically anything. I think really any Muppet fans experience with anything after about 1989, which is like just sitting and watching it and saying like, "This is good, right? Like this is funny. I bet people are gonna like this, right?" I'm pretty sure. So I don't really completely remember all of the circumstances of like I know I went with a bunch of Muppet fans um to the first night and I don't remember exactly who I was with because mostly I just remember the different like levels of anxiety that I was feeling about whether this was gonna be a hit or not and whether we were
Yeah.
gonna get more Muppet stuff or not.
Sure. Well, and this is if I can ask,
Mhm.
this is between like end of Muppet Zine, start of
Yes.
Tough Pigs for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Who?
so I'm at Muppet Central, I guess, during this point.
Right. Sure. Of course. Yeah.
I don't know if I wrote anything. I wrote something about it actually. The one issue of the Tough Pig zine that I made, which was really just to like send to Muppet Zine people to let them know that I was making a website.
All right.
Um, I wrote something about Muppets from Space where I wrote that it is basically a very good Muppet movie and a very bad Muppet movie, like sitting really really close together,
Hmm.
and therefore kind of breaks time and space.
Which were the parts of it that made you describe it as a really good Muppet movie?
Doctors in the Hallway.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. I like that.
The goat, I guess.
Yeah.
The bad stuff. I think I referenced a lot of the Jeffrey Tambor and the sandwich
Huh.
and the waiting around at Cape Dune.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, that all
there
sounds
is
reasonable.
yeah, I still believe in that. There is still like really good and really and not good in this movie.
Yeah.
Sure. And we should tell listeners, like every issue of Muppet Zine, it is posted in full on
Oh
Muppet
yes, it is.
Wiki. So
Yes.
you can go
Oh,
read
actually,
it.
It's
it's on Tough Pigs actually.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. It's
right.
Yeah,
posted in full
The
on
Muppet
our
Zine archive
website.
is
Yeah.
on Tough Pigs. Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. I misspoke. It is entitled Muppet Zine Special Tough Pigs Press. It's
There
the
you
name of
go.
that issue.
You
The
can
Yay.
and
last
should
one.
read it there.
It was a
Yeah.
piece of history.
I also remember somewhere along the line you making a joke about how the Muppets made a not very good movie and then didn't tell anybody about it, and that was Muppets from Space.
That was, yes. Oh, that's the other thing that I really remember about Most from Space is people because like folks at my job knew how into the Muppets I was, and like months after, people were like, "Oh, hey, there's a Muppet movie coming out, isn't there?" And I was like, just like, "Yeah,
Came out a year ago.
it came out over the summer, and
Yeah.
nobody saw it."
Yeah, that
Um,
did. They just really didn't push it.
yeah, it just came and went.
Yeah. Well, the second question
Yes,
is hopefully more positive, which is
more
what is
upbeat.
your favorite sci-fi movie or TV show or other property?
Is Doctor Who, which
Ah,
I
Yeah.
am an enormous fan of, have been since I was a little child. Basically, like my three big big loves when I was kind of coming up in the world was The Muppet Show, was Doctor Who, and Dark Shadows.
mhm.
That's my like top three. And then Mystery Science Theater came along, and so then it turned into four, and then I stopped there. I don't ever love it. I'm never gonna love anything as much as I love those four things.
Sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like, well, it's too bad I'll never have
Yeah,
a thing that I
I've
love as
topped
much
out.
as these
Yes.
things, but they're just like, how could I possibly? How could
Yeah,
there be
exactly.
anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been such an important part of my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And as I don't think we've ever discussed on this podcast,
yes,
you convinced me to watch Doctor Who when
yes,
I was 21.
successfully.
Yes, and when the show was coming back, when the
Hmm.
2005 show started, you were like, "Yeah, you'll like this," and I was like, I don't know if I will." And then you were like, "No, you're gonna." And then I did it, and now I've seen every episode of Doctor Who ever made,
Yay.
in,
And you've
in,
listened to
in,
and you've read books and you've listened to more audio plays than I have.
I've listened to a lot of the audios, and when I say I've seen every episode, I mean like including recons of the missing episodes, of
Right.
course.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
There's a
so
lot of it.
so thank you.
So that you're
And
welcome. That was the successful thing that I turned you on to. Then I tried to make you watch Dark Shadows.
You think I don't like Dark Shadows, but I will always
I
get
don't know.
I will get back to Dark Shadows. I enjoy it.
Hooray. Oh good. Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
you know I've seen like 250 episodes of Dark
I do know
Shadows,
that.
right?
I do know that. Yes.
Yeah.
well, it was actually the Doctor Who thread on the old Tough Pigs forum that convinced me to watch Doctor Who, so I have
Really?
that to thank
Oh
for it
wow.
too. Yeah, everybody was like, Ryan, you got to watch Doctor Who, you'll like it. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I'm not caught up with the newest seasons, but I
It's
look
okay.
forward to. That's kind of what I hear. Yeah,
It's
it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So, yeah, with that, then we can wrap things up for this week. As always, we want to thank Morgan Davy for our show's logo and Jordan Brandon for our theme song. Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com. We're all over social media as well as TeePublic and Patreon. You can chat with other Muppet nerds on the Tough Pigs Discord server. We encourage you to do that. That's a great place to share your thoughts about this scene, about other scenes, about anything to do with this movie. Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. I am on Blue Sky at Me Ryan Rowe. Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. And Danny, where can people find you on the internet?
Uh right now people can find me at Muppet Pictures, which is my lovely little feed where I post two pictures every day and it's gorgeous. That's on X and on Facebook and on Blue Sky. I'm still on X because I don't know. I just want to share my pictures still. And then I have recently done a on 70 Years, 70 Muppets, which we've all done and been a part of. The phenomenon episode is something that I thought was really special, and I have a couple more coming up for the very end of this season.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, how many more
I
episodes? By
cannot
by
tell
the
you.
time this will come out like early December, so I
There
don't know
will
if the
I am
podcast will be over by then or not, but
I am the last two episodes.
oh, okay.
I somehow lucked into that. So
Mhm.
So listeners, if you have not listened to 70 Years, 70 Muppets, go listen to every episode.
you got the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny, thank you once again for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much. So
Um,
happy to be here with you, Ryan and Anthony.
yes. And the cue cards are also telling me to tell listeners to tell everyone they know about this podcast, give us a rating and a review anywhere they can do that, and join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.